Today we're going to go over how to polish plastics that are meant to look like glass. You know, polycarbonates, plexiglass, Lexan, all those things. Things for safety glasses, things for face shields. All the scratches on the windshield of your ATV, motorcycle, snowmobile windscreen, the plastic gauge cluster in a car, maybe even your tachometer, the plastic there. Here's a plastic, like, wide view mirror that I use in my motorhome that I polished up that was completely scratched. Not anymore. Here's a little protective screen cover for my welder. I can just polish that up, make that crystal clear again. So if it's clear and plastic and you're meant to see through it, I'm going to show you how to polish it up so you can see through it again. So the first thing we're going to need is some buffing wheels. And I'll put links down below on everything that I use in this video. What I use is not absolutely what you have to get. You know, you can use a bench grinder to spin the buffing wheel. You could use a drill mounted upside down in a vise. You could use a drill you just hold in your hand. Buffing wheels come in all different sizes, kind of, you know, depending on what tool you're going to use. I'm actually going to use this variable speed. This isn't just an angle grinder. It's actually meant to polish, you know, paint on cars and stuff like that. But I set it up to polish mainly aluminum, but we use this for here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, I'm going to mount this in my vise, just so this is the exact same thing as a bench grinder. It's just I already have this set up. So that's it. RPMs that I run, generally I run around 3,000, 2,500 on this machine. The bigger the wheel, the more surface area, the actually faster this is moving. A drill only spins around 2,000 RPM. Maybe you can find a corded one that spins around 3,000 RPM. But this is a smaller surface area, so this actually moves a lot slower. It just takes longer. So the bigger disc you have, the faster it moves. If you have something like a bench grinder with something around a you know, a 6-inch disc, they'll spin at 3,600 RPM. So that's going to be pretty close to what this is spinning with this bigger, you know, 8-inch disc. So bench grinder speed about 3,600 RPM. For this bigger disc on my setup, I spin, I think I'm actually set at 2,600 RPM, but we can do 3,000, doesn't really matter. You just have to be careful, and I'll show you that in a second. So anytime you're polishing something on a polishing wheel, you need a polishing compound, and the best I've found for plastics is Triple E. Tri-Poly, T-R-I-P-O-L-I. You can buy it in little things. It's always this reddish brown. Sometimes it's actually a darker brown, but it's always this reddish brown color for the most part. I buy it in a big old stick. You don't have to buy it in a big old stick. You can buy it in things this small. You can buy it even smaller than this. It's actually pretty cheap. I think this 1-pound block cost me 10 bucks, something like that. And it lasts forever. You'll go through a lot of stuff. This is also, consequently, the exact same stuff you use to polish aluminum. So if you ever want to polish aluminum, you can also do that with this exact same setup as you do your polycarbonates. Okay, I have some pretty bad safety glasses here that we're just going to polish up real fast because those give you the best view. So this one's brand new, of course, and these are what you're looking through on other things. You can see how bad that is. Maybe I'll put a piece of tape across half just so you can see, but let's polish those up really fast. I'll show you how quick and easy it is. Piece of tape across it, start it up, just put a little bit of compound on, doesn't take much, especially something this small. I can work at that just a little bit longer, get a little bit better, but let's just see if that shows a good transitional difference between good and bad. We still need to do the inside a little bit because the inside gets scuffed up a fair amount too, but that's all it is. Work that out and I'll just polish that all the way up. So you're saying to yourself, yeah, but safety glasses are super cheap. Yeah, but it's not cheap just to run to the store if you already have this stuff for polishing aluminum and stuff like that. Something like my face mask, I have polished this thing right here probably pushing 20 times. And every time it didn't need it, but I probably would have replaced it 7 of those times, you know. So 7 times 20 times 30, you know, we're talking $200 that this saves you from doing this. I'll just polish the rest of this up real fast. The only trick I can tell you is don't sit in one spot forever, because you will, if you heat up the plastic, if you get it hot, you'll melt it. But we'll do a little bit of a time lapse, speed it up, and I'll just polish the rest of this out, inside, outside. You'll notice that I'm doing one side and then the next, and then different angles, because I'm just trying not to, if you've ever used, trying a lot to let it grab, because it'll rip it right out of your fingers. I'll put a time of exactly how long that took me, but done. Same thing, you know, a bigger surface area, it actually doesn't take much longer to do an entire face shield. It really doesn't. Now you can do things like tinted safety glasses, or, you know, these yellow and these actually safety sunglasses. I will say with sunglasses though, a lot of times they put a UV coating over it, and so they actually paint. There's actually a clear paint that reflects UV light. And if it has that, this will polish it, but if the UV coating is chipped, you'll break through it a little bit, and it's never going to be perfect. But it can be done. Like these are super old. I just barely did this lens. You can see this one actually had paint overspray on it. So, I mean, it cleaned it up, and that is 90% as good as new. This one there's no UV coating on it, so it'll look just like new. I will say, playing around, doing it this way, they look 95, 97% as good as new. I could spend more time and probably get them to 100, but that last little 5% is really meticulous, and I actually don't know if you could actually do it with this. You might actually have to get a softer wheel, a different polish, but this gets a 95%, and it takes seconds, and you're done. How hard do I push? I actually push with probably a pound, 2 pounds on this. This is actually a hard wheel. You can actually get softer wheels. Like this one's a way softer one. Will give a little bit better polish, but is it worth my time? This is already set up, you know. I'm just trying to make my safety glasses be clear so I will wear them. Otherwise, I'm just going to squint and use my eyelashes as safety nets to catch all the debris, and that's not the best for you. Anyway, once I see all the, you know, I got all the scuffs and scratches out at the very last little bit, I'm just barely rubbing it across the surface where these fine little fibers are, so it's just working as a super fine pad. So push a little bit harder at the beginning to get all your marks out, and lighten it up. Kind of a hack of how to get by with just one wheel instead of buying multiple wheels. Otherwise, you buy multiple, you buy a hard one, and then you'd use a medium one, and then you'd use a super soft one to get the same results. And this is kind of just, hey, I got one wheel, I just want to get this done. Done. Here's a plastic mirror. This is a piece of plastic used as this is actually a side view replacement mirror thing. I'm sure plastic mirrors, everything's replacing glass, you can just see, polish that side. That side was unpolished. And you see just how bad it was, and this is literally like 10 seconds, and you can actually see through it now. If I was doing like the windshield of a ATV, UTV, or something like that, side by side snowmobile, I definitely want something big like this. You definitely want a big wheel like this. And no, you cannot run this on an angle grinder, unfortunately. These cannot handle the RPM of an angle grinder. They just spin way too fast. And again, this Tripoli is the exact same stuff you would use to polish aluminum. So if you've ever thought about polishing brass or aluminum or something like that, this is the first step, and this usually gets you 90 to 95% reflective finish. Like, it looks amazing. You don't even know, like, it looks perfectly done. That last 5 to 10% you can do with other polishes. but it's actually way more work than it's sometimes even worth. Usually it's just this first 90%, and it looks amazing if you want to do rims or something else like that. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Bye. Okay, these are all polished up. Leave them. Stay. You watching? Stay. Ready? Good job. It fell off. That's okay. Okay, these ones are not polished. Here. Drop it. Drop it. Okay, these are not polished. You can't see as good, right? Yeah, let's see if this would be danger. This is... Okay, leave it. Stay. Stay. This is a molten slag of steel coming at your eye. You ready? Missed. See? Dangerous. Dirty safety glasses. Saved your life. Clean safety glasses would have saved your life. It's science, guys. You look very sophisticated. Give me 5. Good job. Tell everybody goodbye. Look at him. Right there. No, it's right here. See him right here? Where?